Rotor loss is a problem most farmers are far too familiar with. There are two main reasons for grain loss in rotors. First, there is not enough area for thrashed crop to fall through onto the augers. The second reason is the overloading of the separation section.
Thrashing is the act of removing the cereal seed from its husk. And how it works is, as the crop is forced into the concave system, it will be forced to work against itself, and material rubbing on material actually does the thrashing.
In 1995, Don Estes, owner of Estes Manufacturing Company in Flanagan, Illinois, invented the disruptor, a set of steel lugs that are installed inside the rotor separator section of case IH machines. The response was tremendous.
The disruptor is a set of 14 fingers which fit inside of the separation grate. And as the rotor forces the crop past the disruptor lug, it actually cuts the straw, and it's like an internal straw chopper. As the crop moves through, it finishes up the separation part of the thrashing system. In 1999, when the SDS was brand new and when the 2388 axial flow was brand new, I was out at the Farm Progress Show in Iowa, and it was at that time which I noticed the real problem with these rotor machines. There was so much rotor loss coming out of both those machines that you actually needed a face mask to keep your eyes from getting put out. It was pretty bad. I went to the case dealers, or the case service technicians, and I told them that I had disruptors already invented and patented, and if they'd like to try a set of them, I'd be happy to let them do that. 30 days later, Case called me, and they put them in their parts.
I met Don when I was 15 years old. Our family farmed north and west of Flanagan, and we would bring our equipment in to have it repaired. And my father decided that I needed a job for the summer, so he brought me in, and Don hired me to be the handyman around the shop as like an apprentice. Later on in life, Don came up with this system for the combines, and we had the equipment to help him manufacture this product.
Dery Brothers is a custom contract fabricator of fabrications that require machining for original equipment manufacturers. We work to our customer specifications, and our niche is fabrications that require machining. We are ISO 9002-2008 certified, which is a quality standard.
Don Estes comes to Dery Brothers with an idea, and we sit down, and I usually go to the CAD and do some drawings for him. And if he likes what he sees, then we'll prototype it, which means we'll build it. At Dery Brothers, we bring the raw material in as bar, stock, and sheet. The bar stock is taken to one of the three bandsaws that we have and cut to specification. The sheets are sent to the laser where they're cut, and then they might be sent to a forming press where they're formed. The bar stock, which we are making the bar for this, we send it to a machining center where we machine a groove in it. And then after the parts are ready, we take them to a fixture that's been designed, put them in the fixture, tack them together, and then the welders will weld them out. After the welders are done welding them, they usually go to the cleaning room and clean of the excess weld and splatter. Then they're sent to the paint line to be cleaned and painted, and after painted, then they're packed and ready for shipping.
Currently, there are 25,000 sets of disruptors for Case IH machines and another 3,500 in the John Deere SDS and S-Series machines. But unfortunately, the rotor loss problem still exists in many John Deere combines when ground speed is increased.
The reason that there is a rotor loss problem in the Deeres is because there is not a large enough opening in their concave system. The small spaces in the original John Deere round bar doesn't allow for enough crop to fall through, and because it doesn't fall through, it puts an overload on the separation section, and this is the reason for the rotor loss. It's just overloaded, and it runs it out the back.
The more crop volume you can get out of the concave section, the less that has to be separated in the separator section.
The overload issues that both the Case machine and the John Deere have is because, again, an overloaded separation section, which is caused by not enough material leaving the concave section. It has to all be separated over the back. And what we have done is just relieve more crop over the front that doesn't have to be over the back, so it won't run out.
CM Welding has designed a second patented product, the Estes RPR Thrashing Separating System, in order to have only one concave system that will thrash well in all crops, increase capacity in all crops, and stop grain loss in all crops.
The RPR system works to reduce grain loss mainly because of the more open area through the whole system. We have opened the system up by 68%. Therefore, we get 68% more crop on the augers up front that doesn't have to be separated in the back, and thus stops the rotor loss. In my RPR system, we use what the fellows at the factory call Pac-Man bar. It's a round bar that it forces the crop to rub against itself. And this is thrashing, material rubbing on material. RPR stands for round bar, progressively open, restricted flow. I used a round bar because in high moisture corn, round bars don't tend to plug up as much. The restricted flow is the notch that I put in the Pac-Man bar. It's what restricts the flow and forces the material to rub on itself. The progressively open, the P in the RPR, stands for how I've placed the bars in the concave. Where the crop comes in, the bars are placed 7/8 of an inch apart. In the belly of the combine, they're an inch apart, and on the left side, they're 1 1/8 apart, progressively open. So this is where we get the 68% more crop down in the augers that doesn't have to be separated in the back.
Our machines were notorious for throwing grain out the back of the machine, and it stopped probably 99% of it. And it quit cracking grain. Any cracked grain goes out of the back of the combine, and it put all of that in the grain tank.
Last year when we put these in, we were half done with corn. We had 1,000 acres of corn left. The system cost $4,500 to put it in. At that time I figured I got 1,000 acres left, and if I save a bushel to the acre, I break even. But in my eyes, I'd say we probably saved more like 3 to 5 bushel to the acre. So if you want to look at it like that, I probably tripled my money just by putting these in. And not only that, but I'm also more efficient.
I decided to sell the RPR separating system after talking to Donnie in the store one day. He explained his system to me. It made a lot of sense. So our service departments have decided to install on customers. I bought a few systems, tried it myself, went out. I was really pleased and amazed with the job that the system did. It's one of those things that you kind of have to see the results, and was really impressed with the results. And just from a theory of operation, made a lot of sense, and have sold quite a few systems and installed quite a few systems through our service departments.
I would recommend the RPR system to other farmers because it really speeds up your harvest time. Your quality of grain is much better, and you slow the rotor down so you're not cracking a lot of grain.
CM Welding's Estes RPR Thrashing Separating System will thrash all crops well with no additional parts. In addition, the RPR system has 0 rotor loss and allows combines to go faster and have more capacity, along with a cleaner sample.
Tolerable loss is a word that the rotor manufacturer came up with because they had rotor issues from the beginning of losing crop out the back, and they couldn't stop it. So they told everybody that if you've got a rotor, you're going to lose crop. And this is what they call tolerable loss. Well, since this last year with this RPR system, we have stopped the loss. So we don't have to have that word anymore about tolerable loss.
I've probably had, I've had numerous STS combines. I've had 3 in the past 5 years. I've probably had 3 9870s and 2 S680s. Great combines, great company. It just seems like everybody wanted to make a Class 8 combine out of horsepower and forget about the separation and cleaning capacity. And these concaves seem to answer that question.
I bought mine about 3 years ago when I needed concaves to cut wheats, and I needed concaves to cut milo, and with John Deere you have to buy one set for each. And I was told about these, because you can cut everything with one set. So I tried them, and they done a fantastic job. And you can go from one crop to the other with minimal work.
Used to be combine operators would govern their speed that they drove their combine by the rotor loss monitor. Now the rotor loss monitor isn't a problem anymore. A fellow from New Zealand emailed me back. He said, "We fitted your parts on Sunday. My driver took it out Monday morning, radioed back and said, 'What did you do to the rotor loss monitor? It doesn't work anymore.'" This is what farmers want to hear.
Last year we probably shelled the best corn we ever had last year. It was probably the wettest we've had in a long time. We shelled the first half of the crop with the stock concaves in it. We had kind of a major break with the combine when we were halfway done with corn. And with the high moisture corn and the high yield, we were probably running 3 miles an hour was max, all we could get out of it. And we weren't real proud of the job we were doing at the time, but it's the best we could do. After the break, I found out about these concaves. While we were down, we put these concaves in, and it's like a different machine. We went from 3 miles an hour to probably 5 miles an hour, and probably did a better job than we were doing before with the original concaves in it at 3 miles an hour. So everybody liked that but the grain cart driver. So.
In the original Case IH combines, there were removable wires in the concave to open up the area prior to separation in order to allow more grain to flow into the tank. The John Deere SDS, by comparison, uses round bars in the concave with 5/8" openings that are not removable. To fix the problem, Estes has designed a replacement number 3 concave for the concave and John Deere STS combines. The number 3 concave is made up of 1/2" square bars that have a 1 1/4" space between the bars to allow for more grain to pass through before reaching the separator.
Well, I feel that we've already helped the issues with the John Deeres, and I've thought that so much that I've now designed RPR system for the flagship red combines, and we have them prototyped in Oklahoma as we speak, and they will be all on the market shortly. So hopefully we can help out the Case IH machines too.
With more than 30 years in the industry, Donnie Estes and CM Welding are dedicated to developing quality equipment for combines. For more information, visit www.cmweldinginc.com.